Hello and welcome from the Dreiländer seminar held in the still sunny Göcek. My name is Nicola Preetz from Konstanz, and I had the pleasure to mentor Janine Blocher, also from Konstanz, and Tarek Yazicila from Istanbul in the framework of the seminar. They did great comparative work about criminal law protecting data, especially data theft by the system administrator, which we want to bring to you as well. So please enjoy the presentation.
Hello everybody, we are Tarek and Janine, and our topic is data theft by the system administrator. Tarek examined the Turkish approach and I examined the German approach, and for today we prepared a mainly legislative comparison of the data protection law in both countries.
First of all, we made a general observation. The Convention on Cybercrime was a starting point of a reform of data protection criminal law. The present German and Turkish criminal law is mainly based on this treaty of the Council of Europe. In the following, we present you the details.
Germany and Turkey have no legal definitions for system administrator in the penal code, but we have a common term to describe this person. The reason for this similarity probably is that the Cybercrime Convention contains a definition of a service provider.
In both penal codes, there exists also no definition of data in general, but the definitions which are developed by interpretation are the same. The reason for this similarity probably is that the Convention of Cybercrime contains a definition for computer data. There are legal definitions of personal data which are similar.
In the German and the Turkish penal code exists a criminal liability for accessing data illegally, but there exists a grammatical difference. The German law expressly requires a special protection of data, and furthermore the administrator has to circumvent this protection to fulfill the crime.
In Turkey, the administrator needs to have unlawfully access. The interpretation of this term includes a special protection of data, and the administrator has to circumvent this protection, as well as the German approach. The reason probably is that both norms has the aim to transfer Article 2 of the Cybercrime Convention, but they transport it differently.
In the systematical interpretation, we also observed some differences. The German norm is located in the German Penal Code in the chapter that protects the private sphere. The Turkish law is located in the Chapter 3 of the Turkish Penal Code, which includes offenses to data processing systems.
These differences also have an impact to teleological aims. In Germany, the user's formal power of disposal and data secrecy is protected. It aims to protect the individual rights of the users. In Turkey, there are different purposes, but the main purpose is protect the data processing system.
In both legal systems, preparatory acts to unlawful accesses are criminalized. Paragraph 202c in German Penal Code and Article 245/A in Turkish Penal Code has entered the legislation to ensure the compliance with the Cybercrime Convention. This causes a forward displacement of criminal liability.
In Germany, the only legal norm to obtain the dissemination of data in general is data fence, which is not based on the Convention of Cybercrime. It criminalizes the third party who acquired the data of a criminal offender. In Turkey, there is nothing similar, but a third person can be punished if the subject is personal data.
In Turkey, any person who sends existing data to another place shall be sentenced. Where a person obtains an unjust benefit for himself or another by sending the data, he commits the crime regulated in Turkish Penal Code 244/4. There is no German regulation which is similar.
Both legal systems protect personal data especially, but these norms are not based on the Cybercrime Convention. In Germany, the regulation only protects data which is not publicly accessible. It has to be committed for commercial purposes or with the intention of enriching or harming someone.
In Turkish law, it is not expressly notified, but like in Germany, the data also should be not publicly accessible. But it is not necessarily a commercial purpose. Therefore, the German regulation is more restrictive.
There are big differences in the systematical approach. In Germany, this is regulated in the Federal Data Protection Act, not in the Penal Code. In Turkey, the norm is located in the Penal Code. And if a system administrator transfers data unlawfully, he commits the qualified version of the crime.
The German law protects the basic right of privacy. This includes the interests of the users and the integrity of IT systems. The Turkish law protects just personal data as an individual right.
Our main conclusion is that the general data protection law in Germany and Turkey has many similarities because they both are sourced in the Cybercrime Convention. Furthermore, we observed that the convention had an impact on the German and Turkish law, which lead to a forward displacement of criminal liability.
The main difference is that the German law mainly protects the individual rights. The Turkish law refers more likely to the data processing systems. In general, the Turkish law is less restrictive. It is wider and has more space for legal interpretation. Although that causes some differences, there are many similar elements in both laws.
In relation to the system administrator, German law punishes the third person which illegally obtains data. On the other hand, Turkish law punishes the person who is sending it to other parties for obtaining unjust benefit. In conclusion, the Turkish law would be able to punish the system administrator who is misusing his access rights.
The German legal system can do this only if it is personal data. Therefore, there's a lack of protection related to non-personal data. At this point, we have to ask, is it necessary to punish the system administrator in German law with a provision like the Turkish one?
So, with all this information, in general, we have to ask, should we prefer wider laws with more space for interpretation or more specific laws to regulate data protection in our criminal laws?
Thanks for the great presentation. I think this is a very important question every legal doctrine has to discuss. So for now, we leave you with it, and if you are interested in what we are doing, you can visit us at digicrimjust.org.